All right, are we live? What is up, guys? Andrew here, and welcome to Comicbooker, all things comics from a creator. And welcome to a lovely Sunday evening where I've decided to stream. Thank you for all the people who've been checking up on me these last few weeks. Um, it's been a bit of a struggle. For those of you who don't know, basically, 2 weeks ago, I got fished and my Instagram account got hacked. And I basically don't have an Instagram account right now. If you follow me on Instagram, I really urge you to report the person. I urge you not to like reply to any of the stuff, because the hacker's trying to hack more people's accounts. And if you can report the account, please do. I've been trying to get it back, and it's been rough. But anyway, so that's why I haven't been posting videos. But yeah, hey, what's up, Joe Saint? Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a lovely Sunday evening. But yeah, let's get down to business. So I've been working on the graphic novel. I am on page 13 right now. So here we are. And it's a really emotional moment in the novel. So I've already done all the legwork of penciling and inking it today. If you want to see the quick time lapse, this is kind of how I went about constructing the page. And that's how I did the rough pencils. I think I did like constructive penciling a couple of times, just because some of this stuff is a weird perspective and I want to get it like really nice. Um, but yeah, that's what I did this afternoon. I also, this is actually my second page today, which I'm really happy about. I'm hoping to finish this evening so that I'll have done 2 pages today. This is the book that I plan to release later this year. So um, yeah, it's it's coming along. It's coming along nicely. Uh, hey Sam, what's up? Thank you for joining the stream. So what I want to do today is I guess just continue working on the page, and this whole panel up here is, you can see my rough sketch over there. It's gonna be a bit of like a watercolor painting. If you look at the pages previous, this is page 11, and this is page 12. So I've been doing these pages in a bit of like a watercolor style. So that's also gonna be the coloring style for this page. Um, and what I have here on the first panel is a bit of an establishing shot. So we're gonna use some of the Max Ulickney. Am I pronouncing his name right? He's a really good brush maker. Ulichney. I will use some of his brushes because he has some really good watercolor brushes. I'm gonna do a soft bleed, and I kind of want the evening to be a bit of a greenish gray because it's evening when we establish the scene. And actually, the first thing I'll do is I'm gonna add a higher res watercolor sheet. See that? That's a sheet of watercolor paper. I'm gonna put it under this so that we have that texture to work over. So it really feels like watercolor, right? Whoops, let's do it again. Boom. I think that's gonna work. Maybe a little bit. Sometimes I don't do it as precisely and there's like a little bit left over on the upper right or upper left, but that's what I'll do. And then I have this weird panel shape here on layer 13. That's where I'm gonna put that the watercolor sheet. Let's put it under, and then we'll duplicate it, and we'll put it above as well. There we go. And that's going to be the base layer for this painting. I'm going to do a quick, yeah, let's make the background blue so I can see this better. There we go. It's going to shape up as we go. Joe Saint Lot asks, how can I start learning how to draw comics? What book should I check to start this journey in the right way? There's a bunch of good books. If you're looking for comics craft, there's two big ones. I would say Will Eisner's Comics and Sequential Arts. That's a really important book. Will Eisner is the creator of The Spirit. The Oscars of comics is called the Eisner Awards. It's the most coveted comics award. I'd love to get an Eisner one day. And it's named after him for very good reasons, because he's a huge innovator in the space of comics. So I would say make sure check that out. The other book to look at is more of a technical book, more of a philosophical book, and it's Scott McCloud's Understanding Comics. That's essential reading. It's a textbook on comics theory and comics philosophy, like how it works, but it's done in the style of a comic as well. So, you read a comic about how comics work, which is kind of cool. I don't like the texture in the sky. So those are the two books I'd recommend that are comic specific. Additionally, and some people are gonna groan at this, but I really like it. I would recommend Austin Kleon's Steal Like an Artist. You've probably seen this book. It's very popular. It's in airports a lot, and it's in bestseller lists everywhere. He has 3 of the books. I have all 3, but it's kind of a guidebook for any artist on how to be an artist. I guess that's how I'd say it. Cleon is a poet and a nonfiction writer, but the stuff he talks about is stuff that I think everyone can benefit from. So I really recommend checking that book out. And yeah, I think those 3 together will put you on the path to making comics. I assume you already read comics, Joe Saint, which I think is probably the most important part of this whole thing. It doesn't make sense to want to make something if you don't enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't understand the subtleties otherwise. So yeah, long answer to your question, but I hope that helps. Stephen Walker is in the house. Hello, sir. Thank you for joining the stream. Stephen Walker is one of my mentors. He's an amazing artist and an instructor at the Art Students League. And I would say if you could study under him, I would recommend it, because I've learned a lot from being in his class. Okay, wait. I think we're in a good place with this sky. I don't like how gray it is, so I'm actually gonna mess with the saturation a bit. Blow it up a bit, and then up the brightness very slightly. And then we're gonna do some smudges again, just to control it and get it to where we want it to be. And then let's throw some darks down here. And if you're noticing that my palette might look a little less vibrant, it's because I'm working on a CMYK profile, which reduces the gamut, which I can't. It just allows me to see what colors are print worthy. So that's what's what. And yeah, let's lay some groundwork here. I see like a little village, maybe some trees. This is me kind of painting a bit of where I grew up in the Philippines. But you're not gonna see much of it because this is very implied, this stuff. It's the style that I'm working in, which is like heavy watercolor inks, um, is meant to feel more like a painting. So it's a lot of implication rather than outright literal stating stuff. Which I think is a good style to choose for the real life portions of this book, because there's sections which are set in the real world and sections which are set in the fantastic worlds, and we're kind of breaking between the two. I think this could be a little darker. And this is going to be my establishing panel, which isn't going to look as clear as my other establishing panels, but that's fine because at this point I've established from this page that this is the setting, and right now we're in a very depressive part of the story, so I like things to feel a little soft and unclear, like everything's kind of coming apart. To do a little mini painting. Hey Charles! What's up, Charles? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining the stream. I hope you all are making some artworks of your own this lovely evening. I've had a very productive Sunday. And this is my second page today, so I'm really happy with my progress so far. This is gonna be, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a Max Pack eraser. Where's the watercolor eraser? There we go. I'm gonna use an eraser scrub, and I'm gonna scrub out some highlights here as if I used masking fluid or something. I want a little house there. Maybe some lights here too. I miss you, Charles. I'm gonna pop in and bug you guys. Hopefully next week. I'll have a lot to show. And then we're gonna do some, whoops, that might be too dark. I'm gonna lighten that up. Let's use this gray. Still very dark, yikes. We'll use this one. Yeah, that's better. There we go. That's our little mini painting for the establishing panel. I find that the telephone wires are a quick and easy way to make it feel like the Philippines. So we're gonna put some telephone wires in like that. There we go. Charles says, nice, I had a productive week, penciled 4 pages. Very nice, Charles. Congratulations. I'd like to hear that. I'd love to see those pages. And Steve says, your pace kickstarted me. I'm working on a beast of a double page spread. Is it from that story you were showing me about the gods? Because if it is, like, that that is shaping up. That's a really exciting looking story. I can't wait to see how it finishes up. I don't know how much I can talk about it, so I'm trying to be vague here. Whoops. Okay, so there's that. And notice how, so I'm really playing with value here to make it feel as if there's whatchamacallit. There's depth to the scene, so it's very dark up front and then it sort of grays out into the darkness in the back. And I'm kind of cutting into it with these harder shapes to break up the soft shapes and make it feel like that there's an environment. Uh, I can probably throw a car in there, so let's throw one in there. Maybe here. And then maybe another one here. There. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab some red. I'm gonna paint into those spots that whoops, that's too thick. I need something ghostier. That one, like a heavy. Oop, that's too heavy. There we go, let's make it small. There we go. Just little red bits there. And then maybe some yellow to make it feel like a warm lights cast by these houses. Okay. All right. I think we're in business. I think that looks okay. I wish the sky was a little more expressive, I want to say. So I'm gonna start smudging up into it. And then I'm gonna smudge down a bit. I think if I got this like if I got a very soft green somewhere there, it'll help skyify things, you know. There we go. And then I'm just gonna blend into that. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, it's very much kind of like an ink wash drawing because it's very value oriented. It's not color oriented. Um, uh, it's really just about how dark or how light things are with very little bits of like color variation. So, uh, but that's okay because again, this is a moment in the story where the protagonist is like deeply depressed. So it's kind of, you know, it the I want the feeling of the story to reflect the main character's mindset. So that's what's going on. It's got to be a little bit like that. All right, so that's that. Let's just do a little more bleed stuff up here. Because I think we can get a little darker up here. Let's see what funky things I can throw there. Oh, a bloom, as if it were some paper. No, I don't like that. That's too flashy. Just this. Nope. Too flashy again. There we go. That's what I want. All right. And then that. And we should be good. All right. So now I'm gonna select this layer here. Boom. Invert it. And delete everything outside of that layer. Clear. Boom. And there you go. That's our establishing panel. And then the rest of it will flow out of that. So now to do more flesh tones. This is going to be some very simple establishing colors. So we'll use this first. Since it's mostly centered around him, I'm gonna focus on coloring those bits. Whoops, let's do this. There we go. With watercolor, and I know that I'm doing digital watercolors, this is kind of like fake watercolor, right? But hear me out. When you're trying to make it feel like watercolor, you want to work in the same manner in which watercolor operates. And, you know, in oil painting, you usually, because it's opaque and you can layer things on top of each other and cover things up with paint. You can work from light to dark or dark to light. Usually you're working from dark to light. Usually you put, like in oil paint, the highlight last, the whitest white. But in watercolors, it's the opposite. You work from light to dark, because you're starting with the whitest white of the paper and then you're creeping in with shadows. So I'm trying to do that with this with the coloring of this page and this whole sequence. We're just trying to keep it as we're starting with the very light colors and then we move down to the dark as we go. I'm gonna try to be consistent with that. And yeah, this is a little intense. This page is like everything's gone wrong, so I feel super bad for him here. But, you know, this is leading up to the major the inciting incident has already occurred for the character in this page. So his father has just died, and he's going through a lot of emotions, as that would do to someone, right? So I want to capture that in the art and get it really working. And right now I'm actually seeing a lot of problems because this flesh tone I've chosen to use is very warm. And I mean, I like it because it worked really well with the preceding pages where we were looking at his childhood and it was a very nice warm feeling, right? But in this scene, I'm gonna want to cool this down. So I'm gonna paint this as if this is the right color, right? And I'm just gonna get the values correct. But later on, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna use hue saturation to cool it down and get it to the right tone that this scene requires. His environment is also very cool. Like the lights are all very cool, like blue lights and stuff. So his skin is not gonna look like that. But yeah, just sort of talking through what we're gonna do with this as we move forward. So yeah, right now I'm just painting all the flesh tones in, and we'll monkey with it when we're done. And the way the flesh tones work is I do it in 2 layers. So this is the base layer right now. Whoops. And then I have this second brown here, if you can see it. I'm gonna pop it a little bit. That brown's gonna be like a darker tone to get some of the deeper moreno hues of the skin tone. And I also have like a reddish pink there, and that's gonna help me get certain areas where you want things to be a little pink, to show like blood going through, like the nose. You want the cheeks sometimes to be a little red. So that's what we're gonna do. Vesover says, looks so cool. Thank you so much, Vesover. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for popping in this Sunday evening. I hope you were filled with inspiration and making art as well. Okay, so here is the second layer, and now I have to really think because there's two light sources in the room, right? There's a bit of a light source here with this lamp, and there's a light source in the door behind him, so I'm gonna have to go dark. And paint shadows where I think the light would be right behind him to be scathing. And then we'd have some light coming from that lamp over there, so it's like a two light source thing. This is complicated. I'm gonna fudge it. I'll do that. There we go. Whoops, this is not the right smudge tool. Let's use wet flow. There we go. And give us some smooth gradients. All right, and then here's this is my this is what they call the pinch hitter panel, right? Usually in a 9-panel grid, that's the fifth panel. This is not a 9-panel grid, but it's more or less built on that structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a 7-panel grid, but it's, the fifth panel in the 9-panel grid is usually the center panel, and that's what people key off of, right? When they look at the page. So usually you want something of relative import landing on that panel, and this is the moment when my main character breaks down because he isn't showing any extreme emotions in the previous page. He's just sort of sad and wistful. But this is the moment where he breaks down and he starts to cry. So I want to make sure to get that feeling in, and it's a whole. I'm going to try to make the light a little harsher as it moves across his face, and then soften as we get to the eyes, and you can see tears welling up. Like right there. It's a weird line to walk to when you're like trying to get your characters to act. In comics, usually exaggeration works, right? It's usually better to exaggerate. because it reads better, it reads clearer, and you want to be as clear as possible with the storytelling. But there's also, I guess, there's a line where you can overdo it and it cheapens the emotion of the scene. Um, so I'm trying to walk that line where hopefully you feel it, but it's not overstated, you know. There we go. Okay. All right. So that's, I think that looks good. Oop, not too much. I might mess with it a little here. So one upside to having my Instagram hacked is I actually, since I haven't been posting so much or worrying about posting so much, it's been more or less my extra free time has been focused on making the book happen. So that's what that's what I've been doing. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I get it back. I might just start a new account because I'm currently applying for like a table at Comic Con, and I just want to have an Instagram for to link them to show that, you know, because it's application based and, you know, they don't just approve anyone. Um, I want to show that I'm legit. I don't know. I don't know if an Instagram is essential for that, but you never know, right? You know, I feel like I'm competing with all these other super amazing New York artists, and who am I? So yeah, we'll see. If I do start a new Instagram though, I'll let you guys know. If anyone wants to follow me, that would be super awesome. I will post awesome stuff for your eyeballs. Like this super cryy dude for your eyeballs. He's really upset. Upsetting things have happened. Yeah, I'm really happy with how the book's been turning out so far, but I am not happy with my pace. Like I think I could be faster. But at the same time I don't want like the quality to suffer because I'm rushing, so it's that weird balance of like, you know, trying to be fast, but also trying to keep the quality um, to a certain level. There we go. All right, almost done with the flesh tones, guys. Then we'll move on to some of the other parts, the messy parts. I think important too, if you're trying to replicate watercolor style digitally, is to have a bit of an economy of stroke. And what that means is you wanna, you know, not you wanna cover areas of color with as few strokes as you can muster, few brush strokes as you can muster, because it looks better. It looks more natural that way. If there's too many like little strokes there, it starts to look like marker. So I try to keep it like a flow, like one stroke for each section. So the watercolorness really stays. Whoops, I'm seeing some weird stuff here. There we go. All right, that looks better. Now back to this. Whoops. And the other thing you want to pay attention to is edges. You'll notice I'm leaving some artifacts here and there. You can see the colors not landing perfectly. And you kind of want that to some degree because that's what it looks like when you do watercolor. Like, it's not 100%. It's not like flat, sheeny, shiny computer coloring. All right, let's get this cleaned. I'm gonna clean this up here. All right, done with the flesh tones. Okay, now I'm gonna go do some background stuff. Start establishing the overall lights in the scene. And I'm actually not sure what I want this page to look like color-wise. I'm thinking something like this. This sort of cool, cruel blue. Let's use that. And I'm gonna do a flood on the background, so we'll flood it with rough watercolor. Let's see how that goes. There we go. Okay. And this is gonna be the initial pass. Whoops. Let's do that again. Okay, that's looking good. The next, we're gonna do the cruel blue. Just darken it around this doorway. I'm actually gonna have to do some masking in a bit. Masking is where I erase out certain parts where the watercolor fell, but I'm gonna do that in a second. Eric Hausel, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Hello, hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I actually haven't posted any live videos in a couple of weeks. It's been crazy these past few weeks, so I'm happy I'm able to be here right now and hang with you guys. Okay. There's the cruel blue, done. I think I'm gonna have to do something pretty unique for the middle panel, but I'm gonna reserve that for later. Next thing to do is I'm gonna mess with this doorway. Start scrubbing into it with an eraser because I need that to be in light. I'm gonna smudge up so you can have the floor kind of continue up into that doorway. And then I'm gonna erase into this as well, because I'm gonna color that a different color later on. Okay. Next, let's give the doorway some light. I don't think a yellow light would suffice for this. I think something... The problem is I don't have any warms, so maybe just a green. Yeah. So I'm throwing this green into the background to make it feel like, you know, that's the light source. I'm gonna do a hint of yellow there and just leave it at that. Maybe scrub into it like this. And then do a bit more here. All right. Boom. I should probably, now that I can see all of this, I should probably do his shirt. So we'll... Thankfully, I did the other page, the previous page earlier today, so I still remember the colors I used for the clothes he wore in the previous scene. So we're gonna use that here. Yeah, having come from a funeral, he has to be wearing black, but it's a layered black. I don't want to overdo it. There we go. I'm going to use a different black for the trousers, just so they look like they're... I don't want it to look like a pantsuit or a onesie, you know. Hey Climbing Comics, welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday. And his shirt is actually white, and that's gonna be like a major plot point. Which is why he's changing his undershirt is white. And that's going to be a major plot point for the book. So that's why I'm having him change out of his funeral clothes in this panel. Because I need him to be wearing that white undershirt when stuff goes down in a couple of pages. I think that looks good, right? If I throw a bit of shadow here, it's going to sell it a little bit more. And these are his shoes, his black shoes, his leather shoes. And the socks on the floor. And that should do the trick, right? Okay. Moving on to this panel, we're gonna scrub out the shirt. Oh, here we go. And any blue that's interfering with the flesh tones. Boom. And then we're gonna go for some more rendering. And I'm trying to be very light. I'm actually using a dark color, but this brush is very pressure sensitive, so I can just kind of wash it in lightly in a way that's really good. Makes it feel like shadow without being too oppressive. There we go. This, however, has to be dark because this was his shirt. There we go. All right. And since I'm here, I might as well color up his hair. Slowly coming together. That's bugging me though, so I'm gonna mess with that. There we go. Oh my gosh, it's almost 9:30. Time flies, my friends. Time flies when you're having fun. I'm probably gonna end the stream in about 10 minutes, so just because I need to go to bed. I gotta wake up early tomorrow. But this is gonna be good because I like to leave myself a potter's edge so that I can pick it back up easily the next day. Just clean up some of this. Boom. And clean up some of this. I don't mind it looking a bit rough. Like you can see some of the leftover blue texture in his outfit. That's okay. I just need to make room for other colors to pop in, so. That's why we're scrubbing like this. And also, as I mentioned, we need to modulate the flesh tones. It can't look like this. For the whole scene. One more here. These watercolor pages are very intensive to execute, but I only really need to do them for the real world scenes, and I'm almost done with that sequence. So thankfully, in about 2 pages, the style of coloring is gonna change back to what it was at the start of this whoops, wait. It's gonna change back to sort of that traditional comic book coloring style. Which I was using in the earlier pages of this book. I don't know if I've shown them. I guess before I end the stream, I'm gonna show some of the pages I've worked on, so you guys can see what the other pages look like. Okay, so that's that. Let's get some of this stuff here. By the way, do you guys want music? Because I can play music in the background if you guys want music while I'm doing these live streams. Let me know in the chat if you think it would be improved by music or if you're good the way it is. 'Cause I don't know, you guys might want to be playing your own music while you're drawing along with me, and we can't both be playing music at the same time, right? Okay. Boom. All right, that's good. And the page is really shaping up. Let's just color the rest of the obvious things here. I always go for the obvious thing first if I can help it, right? That way you minimize the decision making you have to make. You don't want to wear yourself out. And I also find as you make choices, early on, they start to dictate your choices later on. So anyway, it's always good to go for the obvious things first. Well, usually it's good to go for the obvious things first. Inform. Shout out to Jay, by the way. He's the guy who messaged me on Twitter, reminded me that I haven't posted a video in a while. I really appreciate it. I I've been so focused on the graphic novel, I've been neglecting other things. So it's good to have a reminder. All right. Feeling good, feeling good. Ooh. All right, more to come, obviously. Let's take this out. And I'm gonna start cleaning up my line work because I can. We're gonna remove. Oh, there's a lot of stuff here. So let's clarify that. I'm gonna remove all the lines that are popping out of the panels. Clear. There we go. Less annoying. I know, it's so dramatic. It just looks so crazy. Well, my reasoning was that I was thinking that the character wouldn't be, even though he's grieving the death of his father, he wouldn't be very emotional in front of other people. He's only doing this because he's on his own in his room right now. And he's remembering something his father said. So yeah. Okay. All right. I'm probably gonna pause here and then continue the rest tomorrow. But let me show you some of my other pages so far. So this is the first page of the book. And there's a lot. It's gotten very far. I'm really happy with my progress. And then here we are at page 13. So I'm 13 pages in, which is about a little over a fifth of the way done with the story. I have more here, and I don't know if do I have it up here? Let me see. Yeah, here. So here's my plot outline, and I am here. Page 13. So I have all this other stuff to finish, and obviously there are holes because I'm writing it as I go, but this is kind of what my planning looks like right now. It's gonna change. I'm trying to be flexible. Like if the story tells me a cool idea, I want to be able to change it. But also I want to have the security of knowing that I have an ending in mind that I'm aiming for. Since it's it's not a super long graphic novel. It's like gonna be about 50 pages. So yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope you got some good artwork done as well. And yeah, have a great start to your week. And enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. Peace out. See you soon.